Do you know something? I just can't believe my luck. I'm Bob Nudd, and here I am with a hectic day ahead of me. And what am I doing? I'm going fishing at a lake on the edge of the Exmoor National Park, and I couldn't be happier. Coarse angling's a way of life for me. I've been world champion 4 times, and still I can't wait to get started. There's never been a day when I wouldn't have rather been fishing, and most of the time that's exactly what I've been doing. What's more, there's never been a fishing session when I haven't wanted just one more cast. And in this series, I'll show you why. With so many species to target all over the country, I'd better get moving. And today, it's the elusive koi carp that I'm after. It's autumn. There's a splattering of rain. I can feel it pit-pattering on my hat. The leaves are just beginning to fall from the trees, probably a bit earlier than normal this year. But there's some cloud cover, that's why it's raining a bit, so it's been warm overnight. So the air temperature's up, water temperature's still quite good, which is always good for fishing. These are usually the best times to go and catch your fish. Magic Lake. Will I need my waggler or my wand? The area I've selected to fish, if you look across the other side against that island, there's a bed of lilies. I plan to feed. Fish love to patrol around islands, so I was going to feed on the edge of the island, hoping to capture any fish that are moving round. Just intercept them and fish with my waggler against the lilies. Not sure what baits yet, I'll go through it later. I've never caught a koi carp. Let's go and get my wand. I'm going to start with a piece of worm. Just the middle part. I've cut both the ends so the juices come out of it. It's usually a bait, it's so natural that most fish will take it, so if I'm ever not sure what to fish with, then worm is usually my choice. Try and get over there by those lilies and then sink the line. Oh, that was a good cast. Sink the line. The wind is pushing across the lake a bit, so try and sink the line to get the float to stay still. I'm feeding with 4mm carp pellets, 4mm carp pellets, looking for big fish. I just loose feeding. It's the most important part. Just loose feeding to get the fish round into the area that I'm fishing. And quite often just the noise of the pellets going in will attract big fish. Eventually I'll end up with if I keep loose feeding, I'll end up with a good carpet of feed for these fish to move on. And a few maggots as well, just in case. Maggots, once again, if it starts a bit slow, you can slip a couple of maggots on the hook, so a few maggots. Imagine I'm loose feeding and they're dropping down through the water. I've set the float over depth so the worm will be lying on the bottom now. Spread some feed round and wait for the bite. Oh, I'm into my first fish. Doesn't feel that big, but what is it? At least it's my first fish. Quite a small one, this. I know what it is now I've seen it. It's an orf. Now I have to say this very, very carefully. It's a blue orf. Lovely. Probably only about 6 ounces. I put a piece of worm on there, just on the hook there, and just took it inside the mouth. Oh, beautiful, beautiful fish. Oh, lots of action now. Another fish, still a small fish, I think, but but still some fish just starting to come round that feed area. It looks like just a normal carp, this one. You can see the worm hanging out of his mouth. Oh. Just a small, perfectly formed common carp. See the barbels here? Just coming out of its mouth. Perfect, perfect condition. How could that get that big lump of worm in its mouth? At least the peg's warming up now, more and more feed going in. And what normally happens is the small fish arrive first and then the big fish come in and bully them out of the way. Small fish attract bigger fish to feed in, so never worry. If you're catching small fish to start with, don't worry about it. The big fish move in later and push the small fish out of the way. Even if I wasn't so busy refining my technique in my quest to catch a koi, I'd have to tell you that this is a wonderful place, which could literally be described as an angler's paradise, which is precisely where you find me. This treasure of Devon countryside has 17 glorious lakes in the most beautiful surroundings. And if you're wondering what you might catch here, there's everything from carp to barbel and plenty of surprises into the bargain, including catfish and 5 species of trout. Devon is well known for its beautiful landscape, complete with green rolling hills and thatched cottages, where rivers and lakes attract anglers from far and wide. The wildlife is also a true delight, and with the countryside as lovely as this, what more could anyone ask for? Oh, this feels like a good fish. Not sure what it is. I always wonder when I first strike, what sort of fish is it? What can it be? So many different exotic species in this water. Just caught a glimpse of it then. It looks like a, oh, look at that. A golden tench. Oh, you don't catch these very often anywhere. Looks exactly the same as the normal green tench. But there. Look at the beautiful gold features. Incredibly beautiful fish. Just a little bit under a pound. Still looking for a koi carp, but that will come along. Similar colours. Oh, this is the sort of day you just don't know what you're going to catch. Float slid away. Blue orf, yes, another blue orf. Lots of action, these small fish there, before the bigger fish move in. Beautiful, beautiful fish. So greedy. Taking it right down. Feeding on the bottom over those pellets. Made a mess of that worm, didn't you? Such lovely looking fish. How am I going to catch a koi? Let's try a magic potion. Hubble bubble, a big koi double. I'm at Halwell in Devon, trying to catch my first ever koi carp. I've even tried the home brewed wine they make here to improve my chances, but I might have done better drinking it instead of pouring it into the lake. Will this be my first koi? Oh, I don't know. The suspense. And the rain's coming. This feels like a lovely fish. Just kept feeding and feeding and feeding that area. Been lots of small fish. Has the potion done its job? This is the suspense bit, you just don't know. Even I don't know, it's spinning round and round. I'm just trying to get that first glimpse of the fish. Doesn't want to come in, does it? Feels lovely on this rod though. It's good, smooth action. I took a piece of worm as well. I think it's been a good bait. Oh dear. You'd think with fish, you'd think you'd just be able to pull them in, but you can't. They're so powerful, so strong, the way they fight. Whizzing away. Oh, don't know what it is. Just caught a glimpse of it as it whizzed along under my feet. What I'm trying to do is just get the head of the fish to come up, take a gulp of air, to give me a chance to slip the net under it. But I don't mind, I don't like hauling them in quickly. I think this is a real pleasure of fishing. Is applying the fish. I've knocked off that anti-reverse, so I'm using that. If the fish wants to run, I'll just let the reel run with it. Oh, the line's almost singing under tension. Oh, caught a glimpse, just a merest glimpse of it then, but I still don't know. It's a good fish anyway. It's a strong fish. The thing about kois, can you believe they fight much harder than normal carp? Really strong fish. Just doesn't want to get its head up. Oh, this is fantastic. What is it? It looks like a mirror. The potion didn't work on this one. It's a mirror carp. Right in the feed, a lovely fish. Or is it? It's got a bit of colour on it. A bit of orange tinge. It's a strange mirror if it is. Just take the hook out while the fish is in the net. That's it. There, look at that. Lovely big mirror cup. But there's two little bits of orange which are unusual. Lovely fish. What a fight. I'm using a size 16 carp hook with a 3-pound breaking strain hook length, quite a long hook length, nearly 30 inches. That's all hook length. It's a high-tech line, so it's fairly thin. Fish can't see it. You get more bites that way. And then on the hook length itself, I've got 3 number 9 shots, just small shots, to take the bait down. It's fairly shallow, so you don't need any heavy weights down. Much, much easier to cast a waggler if you keep the weight light at the bottom. And then up to the waggler itself, I'm fishing just over 4 foot deep. And you'll see that I've got some shots here which just balance up the float itself, but I've got a little attachment there, just 2 pieces of silicone and a special attachment with a clip there. I can unhook this clip, change the float, say the wind got up a bit, I could change, swap about with that float without any problem. Still leaving the line clip on, I can change the float to whatever I need, so it's a quick change float adapter. The main line is 5-pound breaking strain. The rod itself is 13-foot waggler rod, a little bit of power in the rod for these bigger fish. And then down to the reel itself, fully loaded, just quite a light reel, a small reel, fully loaded with line there, just to make the casting much easier. So it's a fairly simple setup, but keep the shots light below the float for good casting and no tangles. I don't know what I'm catching today. Every fish seems to be different. What's this? This is quite a quick glimpse of it. Just a normal golden orf. Smallish again, only about 12 ounces, but they're all such pretty fish. In fact, it looks a bit koi-like, but it's not. Beautiful. And they love these worms. Every one of them's really right down inside. Oh, let me show you this beautiful little fish. There. While the koi are still being rather coy, here's a more detailed look at these delightful fish and where you're most likely to find them. There are a number of commercial fisheries all around the UK where you'll find koi stocked, despite having such an exotic appearance. Originally bred in the Orient, the word koi actually means colour in Japanese, and it was during the Middle Ages that Portuguese traders first brought them to Europe. Ironically, it's the colouring of the koi that will make them rather wary, especially on the surface, because they lack camouflage, and this is worth remembering when you're trying to catch them. Basically, any of the tactics you would use for catching common or mirror carp will work really well, but of course you're unlikely to be successful with surface feedings. The best baits to use include pellets, luncheon meat, sweet corn and bread, and although elusive, it's always rising to the challenge of catching a koi. Could this be the magic fish? Has the potion worked? Oh, I hope so. I've waited so long, 30 years to catch a koi. Feels heavy. Oh, not a massive fish, but loads of action in that rod tip. Oh, lovely. Love the feeling you get when you're playing fish. Looking for the first glimpse. Certainly really fighting well. seems to be getting stronger and stronger. I thought it was going to come in easy. They do fight well. All the fish here seem to fight really, really well. Is it 30 years? It's keeping its head down all the time. Oh. Oh, it's still eluding me. It looks like a lovely common carp, this one. Oh. Yeah, it's a common carp. Funny, in this lake there's mainly more koi's than anything. It's just a lovely common carp. Just about 2 pounds. Beautiful looking fish. And didn't it fight? What a scrap. I'm going to have to come back and try another day.